Welcome students to our class of More in Python, where we will learn in detail about Python and what all it can do. So let's jump straight into the chapter. Python, as we all know, is a popular programming language. It is used in machine learning, web development, desktop applications and many other fields. It allows you to write programs in fewer lines of code than most of the programming languages. Let's begin with a short introduction to Python. It is a high-level programming language. It has simple language syntax which makes it easier to read and write. It was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991 at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in the Netherlands. Various versions of Python have been released till date, starting from version 1. It is used in various application areas such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, web development, science and numeric calculation, computational games, image processing and graphic designing applications, and network programming. In the previous class, you have learned how to declare, initialize, and print variables. Now, let us recall the use of the input function and learn more commands in Python programming. Let's begin with using input function. In Python, we have the input function for taking the user input. The input function prompts the user to enter data. It accepts all user input as a string. The user may enter a number or a string, but the input function treats them as strings only. Here is its syntax. Prompt is the message we may like to display on the screen prior to taking the input, and it is optional. When a prompt is specified, first it is displayed on the screen and only then the user can enter data. The input takes exactly what is typed from the keyboard, converts it into a string and assigns it to the variable on the left-hand side of the assignment operator. Entering data for the input function is terminated by pressing the enter key. Here is one example with a prompt. Here is an example of the input function without any prompt. Let's learn about using the int function. The int function converts a specified value into an integer. In the example shown below, arithmetic operations, addition and subtraction have been used to perform calculations on values entered by the user. The integer function has been used for converting the input entered by the user into an integer type. This is because any input entered in Python is considered as a string type and you cannot perform arithmetic operations on strings. Therefore, it has to be converted into a number type before performing calculations on it. Let's look at the examples. Now, using print function. The print function is used to send data to the standard output device, that is, the screen. The function evaluates the expression before displaying it on the screen. It sends a complete line and then moves to the next line on the screen for the next output. Here is the syntax. Sep is an optional parameter that is a separator between the output values. We can use a character, integer, or string as a separator. The default separator is space. End is also an optional parameter and it allows us to specify any string to be appended after the last value. The default is a new line. Below is an example with its output showing the use of the print function. Let's learn more about working with operators. Operators are symbols that represent arithmetic and logical operations on operands and provide a meaningful result. For performing an operation, the operator requires one or more operands. The valid combination of operators and operands make an expression that returns a computed result. These are examples of some operators. let us learn about arithmetic operators, relationship operators, assignment operators, and logical operators with examples. Starting with arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic operations like addition, multiplication, division, amongst others, which we will see about through a table. This operation performs addition of two numbers. For example, this. This operation performs subtractions of two numbers. This operation performs division of two numbers. This one performs multiplication of two numbers. Here, a modulus returns remainder. Here, floor division removes digits after the decimal point, like this. And here, exponent performance raised to power. Here is an example and its output. Next are relational operators or comparison operators. These are used to compare the values. They provide the result as either true or false. Let's look at a similar table to understand better. This operator is for equal to and return true if A equals to B. This is for not equal to and return true if A is not equal to B. This operator is for greater than and return true if A is greater than B. This is for greater than or equal to and return true if A is greater than B or A is equal to B. And this operator is for less than and return true if A is less than B. Lastly, this operator is for less than or equal to and return true if A is less than B or A is equal to B. Here is an example and its output. Moving to the third one, which are assignment operators. Assignment operators are used to assign values to the variables. Let's look at the table now. This assigns values from right side operand to left side operand. This adds two numbers and assigns the result to the left operand. This divides two numbers and assigns the result to the left operand. This multiplies two numbers and assigns the result to the left operand. This subtracts two numbers and assigns the result to the left operand. Modulus two numbers and assigns the result to the left operand. This performs floor division on two numbers and assigns the result to the left operand. And this calculates power and assigns the result to the left operand. Here is the example and the output. And now looking at the last one, which are logical operators. These are used to perform logical operations on the given two variables or values. Logical operators are also called Boolean operators. Let's move forward with its table to understand better. And is for return true if both the conditions are true. For example, x and y, or return true if either or both the conditions are true. And not is for reverse the condition. For example, this. Lastly, in the chapter, operator precedence in Python programming is a rule that describes which operator is solved first in an expression. Python follows the PEMDAS rule. It is an acronym for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, which is a set of rules that prioritize the order of calculations, that is, which operation is to be performed first. PEMDAS stands for parenthesis, exponents, multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. Here is an example that shows the application of PEMDAS. And here are some examples of these rules. This is lovely. I hope you understood the entire chapter. See you next time.